It started with something small, a moment so ordinary you wouldn't even notice it if it happened to you. I woke up, sunlight barely touching my room, and before I even sat up, my hand reached for my phone. It wasn't a choice. It was a reflex. My thumb opened the same apps I'd scrolled through the night before, and suddenly, I was gone, lost in a world of updates, photos, and stories that had nothing to do with my real life. 15 minutes passed. Then 30. I hadn't brushed my teeth. I hadn't eaten breakfast. But somehow, I knew what three strangers had for lunch yesterday, who broke up with who, and which celebrity just went on vacation. And that's when the thought hit me. Why do I care? But I didn't stop. I kept scrolling, even though every swipe made me feel a little emptier. It wasn't fun anymore. It was automatic. Back then, I told myself I was staying connected. But the truth is, I was more disconnected than ever. I'd sit with friends, nodding while they talked, but my mind was still online, thinking about a post, a comment, a message I hadn't replied to. When I laughed, it felt half-hearted, like I wasn't fully there. I was surrounded by people, yet I felt alone. And that's the thing no one tells you about social media. It tricks you into feeling close while quietly pushing you apart. We chase likes instead of laughter. We scroll for comfort and end up feeling worse. And over time, you don't even notice that your attention, the most valuable thing you have, is slipping away. It wasn't one big event that made me change. It was something small. One night, I was lying in bed, phone in hand, doing the usual scroll. I came across a photo of someone I used to know, a classmate, smiling with friends on a beach somewhere far away. For some reason, that picture hit me hard. It wasn't jealousy exactly. It was something else. I felt like life was moving for everyone else except me, like everyone was doing, while I was just watching. And that scared me. Because deep down, I knew it wasn't just them moving ahead. It was me standing still. I wasn't really living my own story. I was just a background viewer in someone else's highlight reel. That night, I didn't sleep much. My mind was loud, buzzing with what-ifs and half-finished thoughts. And then, out of nowhere, a quiet idea surfaced. The next morning, I did something bold, or maybe a little crazy. I deleted every app, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all gone. And for a second, I felt free. But a few minutes later, I felt panic. What if someone needed me? What if I missed something important? What if everyone forgot I existed? That's the funny thing about detoxing. It doesn't feel clean at first. It feels like withdrawal. By noon, my fingers were twitching, reaching for a phone that suddenly had no purpose. I kept unlocking it, staring at the empty screen, realizing how many times I used to escape boredom that way. I didn't know what to do with silence anymore. I didn't know what to do with myself. But then, something interesting happened. By the second day, my mind started to quiet down. I went for a walk without headphones, just me and the sound of the wind. I noticed the crunch of gravel under my shoes, the way sunlight hit the leaves, the rhythm of my own breathing. It felt strange at first, like I was seeing the world again after years of looking through a foggy screen. That night, I didn't scroll before bed. I read a book instead. My eyes felt tired in a good way. My thoughts didn't jump from one topic to another. I wasn't comparing. I wasn't consuming. I was just being. And in that stillness, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. After a week, something shifted. My mornings felt longer, calmer. Food tasted better. Music sounded richer. I didn't check how many people viewed my story. I checked how I actually felt. Conversations with friends became deeper. We weren't performing for each other. We were present. And when I walked home, I didn't feel the urge to capture every sunset or coffee cup. I just enjoyed them. But here's the weird part. When you step away from social media, you start noticing how addicted everyone else is. I'd see people sitting across from each other, not talking, just scrolling. I'd hear laughter that stopped the moment someone didn't get enough likes. It made me realize we're not addicted to the apps. We're addicted to being seen. And maybe that's the saddest part. 2 weeks in, I didn't miss it anymore. The world outside my screen felt bigger and brighter. I started writing again, something I hadn't done in years. I started calling people instead of texting them. I started feeling proud of things that never made it online. And slowly, I began to feel like myself again. Not the edited version, not the highlight reel, but the real, messy, alive version. When I finally decided to re-download my apps, something surprising happened. I didn't want to. It wasn't that social media was evil. It was just noisy. And after living in silence, I didn't want to go back to shouting. Detoxing from social media taught me something simple but powerful. Most of the time, what we think we're missing out on doesn't actually matter. No one really notices when you stop posting for a while. The world keeps turning. People keep living. And the space you leave behind online becomes space you finally get to fill offline. With real moments, real people, real peace. I'm not saying everyone should quit forever. But maybe, every now and then, we should ask ourselves, do I control my phone, or does it control me? Do I scroll because I want to, or because I forgot how to stop? When was the last time I felt fully alive without a screen? Because if you can't remember, that's your answer. It's been months since that first morning. I still use my phone, but differently now. I check messages, not validation. I share memories, not performances. And every once in a while, when I wake up and feel the urge to reach for my phone, I remember that old feeling, that quiet panic of not being enough, not doing enough, not having enough, and I smile, because now I know better. Social media didn't ruin my life. It just distracted me from living it. So I put the phone down, step outside, and for the first time in a long time, I don't need to post it to know it's real.